are you feeling today?
Stone-faced, head down, no time for reporters. The Anthony Weiner who walked out of federal court, a convicted felon with a sentence hanging over his head, was nothing like the talkative Paul who usually never met a camera he didn't like. Just 12 days ago, walking out of divorce court with wife Huma Abedin, he asked photographers if they got what they needed.
You guys got what you need? You got what you need?
Outside court, Weiner looked way more composed than he did inside. Facing sentencing judge Denise Cote, he broke down repeatedly. He called the crime he pled guilty to, transferring obscene material to a minor, my rock bottom. He said he was a very sick man for a very long time. He insisted he was getting help for the very first time. He asked for probation. These repeated acts of self-destruction were not those of a scheming criminal, added Weiner's lawyer Arlo Devlin Brown. But prosecutors pointed out that Weiner had weathered sexting scandal after sexting scandal, and said prosecutors, Weiner used graphic and obscene language to ask the minor victim to display her naked body and touch herself. He also sent an obscene message describing what he would do to her if she were 18. Despite the tears, Weiner's admission that he is a sex addict who is finally in treatment, the judge asked the 53-year-old former congressman to rise and swiftly gave him 21 months, 6 months less than probation officials had recommended. Weiner immediately broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. When the judge left the courtroom, he sunk down into his chair and continued to sob for over 5 minutes. Afterwards, Weiner's lawyer said in a statement, "We are of course disappointed, given that Judge Cote found that the treatment program Anthony had engaged in for the past year was showing great promise and should be continued." His friend, former state senator Tom Duane, waited outside the courtroom to give him a hug. Did he say anything to you?
He seemed very, very sad, and he said thank you for coming. What happened was extraordinarily consequential. Addiction is a very, very serious disease, and there should be consequences when actions are taken to hurt others.
Well, Weiner's family was in the courtroom, his brother, mother, and father, but not wife Huma Abedin. Although they are divorcing, he very publicly wore his wedding ring.